So the first person to suggest this correlation between quantum physics and metaphysics or mysticism was Fritjof Capra, who in 1975 wrote The Tao of Physics. The book was pretty well received in general. It was very well received within the New Age community. In fact, when I read it, I was kind of blown away. This was like in the late 1980s. But within the scientific community and the physics community in particular, there was a mixed reaction. A couple of high-level physicists like Werner Heisenberg, for example, did embrace the ideas of the book, and others within the physics community said, no, it's a bunch of pseudoscience, and the model that Capra was relying on is basically already outdated. This was in the 70s, and there was a big debate going on about which model best described the discoveries that were being made. In any case, Capra's book basically opened up this kind of Pandora's box of New Agers and spiritual people trying to explain metaphysical concepts using physics. The problem being that almost all of the subsequent authors were not physicists and had no science background whatsoever. So in the 80s, you had people like Deepak Chopra throwing around terms like quantum healing and energy vortices and probability waves and all these scientific sounding terms in order to lend credence to non-scientific metaphysical New Age ideas that have to do with like astral travel and time travel and long distance healing and mind over matter stuff and law of attraction stuff. And of course, later you got the movie The Secret and What the Bleep Do We Know, which further propagated these pseudoscientific ideas. Just a quick side note that What the Bleep Do We Know was produced by the Ramtha School of Enlightenment, founded by J.Z. Knight, who supposedly channels an entity well known for spouting racist, homophobic, and virulently anti-Semitic rhetoric, and that J.Z. Knight became a huge believer in QAnon. In any case, modern New Agers just love the term quantum entanglement. They use it to describe any paranormal or metaphysical activity that cannot be explained through science. It's a logical fallacy known as the God of the gaps. In Christian rhetoric, something that's mysterious or goes against logic, people say it's God's will. God works in mysterious ways. The New Ager just says quantum entanglement. Now, to be clear, I'm not suggesting that New Agers on the whole are not very intelligent. What I am suggesting is that some of them may be operating under the influence of the Dunning-Kruger effect, in which people who have a little bit of knowledge about something often have a very high degree of confidence about that thing, whereas people who know a lot about something and are actually experts in the field tend to doubt it because they understand that there's always so much more to learn. I also want to be clear that I'm not saying that these paranormal activity that I've talked about, like astral travel and ESP and such, are not happening. I'm personally agnostic on the subject, although I tend toward skepticism. But what I am saying is that having these beliefs is one thing, but trying to explain these beliefs in terms of quantum physics and pseudoscience is not adding to your case. In fact, it's making you look kind of silly.